Check out the air temperature. Feels like 26 degrees Celsius out there at the moment. Partly cloudy. It doesn't look like it's going to rain at any point. We certainly don't have any predicted. But what a chance for Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., the youngster from Brazil, with an opportunity knocking here alongside Taz Interfivazak on the front row of the starting grid. We're about to start the formation lap. And then we'll see if MP Motorsport can pull off their second win of the season. Nikhil Bora pulling off a reverse grid victory earlier in the year. And it would be wonderful to see if Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. can emulate that from the front end of the grid. And of course, we heard earlier on the grid from the two-time Formula One world champion and Indy 500 and IndyCar champion, Emerson Fittipaldi Sr. There's a lot riding on this one for them. It's a good way to start the 2024 campaign. Obviously, he'll be moving on to FIA, the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine later on in the year. And it's a big moment for them to try and galvanise this. The championship fight may be over, but this racing season certainly isn't. And watch out for the PHM AIX boys in second, third and sixth on the grid. They would love to completely eclipse the podium before the season is out. They've come very close a couple of times. Taylor Barnard's still motivated in third position, even though the championship is lost. But his second position is still very much intact. And that will give him enough super license points to be a Formula One accredited driver before he even turns a wheel in Formula 2 in anger in the racing season. That's really exciting for him. There's a lot to talk about here, so let's go through the grid. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., pole position. Tazanapol Interfivazak second on the grid. Taylor Barnard and Mari Boyer separating the battle in position. Third and fourth on the grid, Formula 2 and Formula 3 driver respectively. James Wharton, the Australian, in fifth on the grid from Brando Badua, the Italian. Rafael Kamara, seventh on the grid alongside Ugo Ugachukwu, the American from New York City. Zachary David, ninth position for Malta, and the new champion, Tuukka Taponen, starting P10 after winning yesterday, and reverse grid, 10th position for him. Kanato lead, narrowly missing out on points yesterday. The British-Japanese, 11th on the grid. Enzo Peugeot, the Frenchman, lining up 12th on the grid. Great race from him yesterday too. Jesse Cadasqueda, the Mexican, alongside the Australian Costa Tapares. Then Alex Abkasava and Jose Garcias, the Kazakhstani and the Mexican. Luduki, Chinese driver, alongside the British driver John Bennett. Then Giovanni Mascio, the Italian, alongside China's Gao Yujia. Isaac Barashi, alongside Yaroslav Vezalaho. Then Edgar Pierre and Wang Chongwei. Bruno Del Pino all the way down in 25th after problems yesterday. Noah Lyle also having a struggle and down in 26th on the grid. Nikhil Bora, Finley Green, and the Frenchman Théophile Nal finish off the grid. This is going to be a really enticing race up at the front. With the championship already decided in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, this essentially comes down to an exceptional performance from the competitors that are still here up at the sharp end of the field. It's essentially bragging rights now for these last two races of the year. So it really will be absolutely sensational to see how it all continues. So let's see how it all carries on in close proximity. There is Rafael Kamara and Ugo Ugachukwu, both part of Formula One junior programs, by the way. Rafael Kamara is part of the Ferrari Racing Driver Academy, and Ugo Ugachukwu from New York is in the McLaren Young Driver program, a big talent for the future, especially when you consider that America is really starting to wake up to the world of Formula One. There could be a few decent stars from the nation getting into Formula One. We already currently have Logan Sargent, but with the likes of Ugo Ugachukwu and Alex Powell on the march, it might not be long before we have several American superstars in Formula One in the years to come. But to the race in order in front of us now. Formula Regional Middle East Championship, race 2, round 5. The conclusion of the championship. These two races are just going to be an out-and-out thrash. It's bragging rights, it's a chance to show what you can do when the pressure is off. Everybody will be going for glory in this one. Some will be on used tyres, some will be on box-fresh tyres, depending on what they can get out of race 2 compared to race 3. It's going to be a great challenge to see who is going to use this in the best possible opportunity. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. in the orange and black MP Motorsport to the right of your screen, pole position, second on the grid in the gold and green PHM AIX machine. Tazanapol Interfivazak from Thailand. Behind on the second row of the grid, Taylor Barnard will be on the right, and on the left will be Mari Boyer in the black and red Pinnacle Motorsport car. This is going to be quite an exciting race, with the championship decided in favour of Tuukka Taponen. Now it's just about who has got what it takes. When the pressure's off, the chips are down, and the lights go out. It's going to be a fascinating race here in Dubai Autodrome as we get the green flag at the back of the field, and our 29 drivers are going to be charging to turn 1 here at the Dubai Autodrome for the penultimate time in 2024. Formula Regional Middle East is about to get underway. Let's race in Dubai. And it's a terrific start for the front of the grid for Fittipaldi. He's made a perfect launch. Into Vivazak and Barnard have gone well. Into Vivazak's gone better than Fittipaldi. He's actually going to out-drag him to the first corner. Wheel spin for Taylor Barnard. Not what he needed. He's actually going to have to fend off Brandon Badoa as Intra Vivazak takes the lead into turn one. Great start from the PHM AIX tie. He's done a terrific job as the rest of the field works its way through. Looks like there's problems for Wang Shongwei as he drops to the back of the field for R&B, but everybody else has mixed it through the first few corners in perfect style as Taz Intra Vivazak has come through to take the lead on the start in front of Emo Jr. And then in third place it is Mari Boya. The Spaniard has broken through. So it looks like the even side of the grid has had a much better run of it than the odd side of the grid. As that looked to me like Ugachukwu and Wharton having a nice little battle on the first lap. No, it was Kamara, my apologies. Kamara mixing it there with Ugachukwu as they come onto the back straight. And it's a great start from Taz in the Vivazak. Oh, of course, sorts of chaos in the background. Carnage, absolute pandemonium. And into the wall has gone Isaac Barashi, that's Yaroslav Vezalaho, and that's Edgar Pierre in there as well. I think there were 3 or 4 cars trying to take avoiding action, but this could bring out the safety car quite easily here. Edgar Pierre looks like he's not moving, and certainly Barashi's in the wall. Let's have a look. Triggered in the middle, you can see the car's already spinning. It's one of the Race GP cars that's gone around. I think that is Zachary David, actually. So Zachary David's at a spin. No, sorry, it's Gal Yuchia in the R&B car. My apologies. So everybody else had to take avoiding action, but Gal Yuchia had spun the car. Looks like one of the pinnacles running over the rear, running over the front wing of Isaac Barashi there as well. So Barashi's in the wall, and we have almost certainly going to be under safety car conditions by the time they come around again. And the number 2 has been reported to the stewards for a possible jump start. Safety car, safety car. So safety car has been called, so we're going to have to sort out the positions. Try not to make any overtakes now that we're under safety car, gentlemen, because that really will hamper your progress. Safety car boards are out, but the number 2 has been reported to the stewards for a possible jump start. That is Jesse Carrasquedo for the Race GP team. So that would be a disaster if that's the case. We'd have to have a look at the start again with Jesse in position to have an assessment of it. But yes, several drivers caught up in that first lap incident. Gal Yuchia, Isaac Barashi, Edgar Pierre and Yaroslav Vezalaho all caught up in it. And certainly Barashi and Pierre stationary at the side of the road. I'm not sure if Vezalaho was able to come through again or not. I think Gal Yuchia is going to have to come back into the pits to replace the damage. We don't really know how that incident started. We only know how the chain reaction followed on. But certainly Gal Yuchia, the Chinese driver, was facing in the wrong direction. So definite problems, as Leo Barden points out. Motor racing skittles is essentially what we had at the back of the field, and he's absolutely spot on. So a very tricky scenario there for all of the contenders. But it's definitely going to be a very tricky race restart here. We don't get many safety cars in Formula Regional Middle East in 2024. So by the look of it, everybody appears to be all right. That's the main thing. I don't think there are any major issues. Edgar Pierre and Gal Yuchia have managed to bring their cars back to the pits, potentially to fix them, potentially to retire. Isaac Barashi is okay. I saw him chatting with the marshals at one point, so that's fine. And Yaroslav Vezalaho has parked the car with damage. Let's have a look and see how things. Oh, it actually looks as if Isaac Barashi has actually moved his car, so he's actually got it going again. Well, let's have a look and see what happened. This is where it started. Now look in the midfield to the left of your screen. That's where the conflagration is. Somebody nudges Gal Yuchia. I think it's one of the Evans GP cars. It's 4 cars into too small a space, pitches around Gal Yuchia, so it's not the Chinese driver's fault at all. He then tangles in with Pierre and Yaroslav Vezalaho, and basically everyone in that 4-line battle gets pitched around. Everyone else was very lucky to get out of the way. So basically, it was the combination of the XL and the Evans that tagged the R&B of Gal Yuchia into the spin. Yuchia spins, tags back into Pierre, who tags into Vezalaho, who tags into Barashi. It was a chain reaction, nothing they can do about it. And incredibly, the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So we are going to go for a fresh restart straight away. I thought that was going to take a while, but no. The safety team here at Dubai Autodrome is absolutely brilliant. They are so fast at getting these things cleaned up. So now we can go racing. So Taz in the Vivazak's going to back up the pack. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. second, Mari Boya third, Brandon Badoa fourth, Taylor Barnard fifth from Ugachukwu. Tapunen up to 7th already. Wharton, David, Peugeot, Lee, Garfias, Kamara and Carrasquedo. So Rafael Kamara's had a terrible start, all the way down to 13th for him. So when is Tazit Vivazak going to drop the hammer? It's up to him. He's the leader. He effectively becomes the safety car once the safety car peels in. Now he's gone for it. Now he's dropped the hammer into the final turn. So this is going to be a very competitive restart as they come onto the main straight again. Tazit Vivazak will lead the way from Fittipaldi Jr. as it's green, 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 green here at Dubai. Fittipaldi is already setting off after the tie. Tazit Vivazak goes for it. In the background, you've got Jesse Carrasquedo battling with Alex Abkasava. And up to the first corner, Badua already fancies his chances on Mari Boya. And here comes the bid from Kamara to get through on Garfias. Lovely move from the Brazilian. Up into P12 he goes. So Rafael Kamara already bouncing back. Good work from the Ferrari Junior. So Rafa Kamara doing a superb job. The Brazilian looking strong. And there is a penalty being given to Jesse Carrasquedo. 10 seconds for a jump start. So it was clear that the officials felt it was worthy of investigation and worthy of a penalty. So poor Jesse Carrasquedo, who's currently in 14th, going wheel to wheel with Rafael Kamara. That is actually the 19 that is battling away. That is Kanato Lee, and both drivers run out of road. That is Wharton and Lee, I do believe. So Wharton's had a bit of a tricky restart. But look at Tazit Vivazak having to battle with Fittipaldi and Boya. And now the teammates at PHM-AIX are going to battle. Nothing left to worry about in terms of the championship. So they're dueling. There's Zachary David behind Tukka Tarpanen, and up the inside, that's Kanato Lee, pulling off a double move, I think, to get up alongside Zachary David and Jose Garfias. So some good work there. And it's still ongoing. Kanato Lee has had to filter in behind Garfias, but he still has an opportunity on the inside of him. Leaving up room, leaving up room. That's well done. Very nicely handled from the drivers. So Vivazak still leads the way here from Fittipaldi. Then Boya, Badua, Barnard, Ugachukwu, Tapanen, Wharton, David and Onzo Peugeot doing a great job in the top 10. Looking good for points at the moment as the field works its way through. Still charging away. Vivazak and Fittipaldi battling away. Boya, Badua, Barnard and Ugachukwu. Rafael Kamara tucks up behind Kanato Lee, goes wide on the final turn. And we'll have to dial in the move again. So there is Vivazak leading. Watch Mari Boya in third as he now tries to take on Fittipaldi Jr. Look at the wobble as they go into the first corner. That is going to be the tyre degradation. So immediately, we talked about this yesterday in race 1. The tyre degradation here is more intense than it has been for the entire 4 rounds previously, including 2 weeks ago here in Dubai, because the air temperature has skyrocketed. It's close to 31, 32 degrees Celsius this weekend, and as a result, the track is an inferno, and the tyres are basically like marshmallows on s'mores. They are just melting big time, and there's no grip, there's no traction compared to what the drivers are used to. So it all becomes about feel. As running wide, that is Onzo Peugeot, I think, going wide. No, it's Garfias, my apologies. And that's going to be enough for Carrasquedo, who's got a 10-second penalty for jumping the start, unfortunately. Oh, no, wait, that's Kanato Lee, my apologies. So Kanato Lee having it. Right, Mari Boya is going to attack Fittipaldi Jr. Here he goes, and that is enough for P2. Great run from Boya. But Boya is still having to work hard to keep Fittipaldi back. And that's enough. Mari Boya has managed to seal the deal there in front of Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. Now here comes Taylor Barnard, who's got past his teammate Badua. Don't tell me he's going to run right round the outside. Taylor Barnard is one of the best at this at the best of times, but surely he bails out of it. Oh my goodness, Taylor Barnard was almost going to pull off the move of the century then. You cannot go around the outside while someone's going very wide enough to kick up the sand. So now Barnard is going to try again here on Fittipaldi, and Brando Badua, another son of a Formula 1 driver, he's waiting in the wings here in 5th position. Fittipaldi Jr. 3rd, Barnard 4th, now in Formula 2 in 2024, of course, with PHM-AIX, teammates to the Paraguayan Joshua Dirksen. And then in 5th place, it is Badua in front of Ugachukwu, the young New Yorker. Oh, and that's problems. Well, that's game over for Alex Abkasava and for Ludaki. So they have tangled. That looks like it could be at the very end of the lap, actually. And that is run onto the inside line from Zachary David, gets the run on James Wharton. Just to hold off the position for the time being. Wharton is swarming around all over the back of him. Isn't it amazing? You barely get any safety cars, and then as soon as the championship is over, it suddenly kicks off again. I don't know whether that's going to be a safety car or not, or whether the two drivers can get away with it, but certainly Abkasava and Liu are in trouble. And I noticed that Noah Lyle hasn't come around either. So Noah Lyle has had some problems. So I actually think it could be 3 of them involved in the incident rather than 2. Either that or Noah Lyle has been involved in a separate incident. The extraction vehicle seems to be on the move. Whoa, big washout there from one of the Mumbai Falcons. I think that's Rafael Kamara in 11th behind Enzo Peugeot. Inter Fuvazak is pulling away though. Safety car board is out again. Safety car board is out on track once more. So for the second time in this race, we had safety car. There you go, I jinxed it. I said to the safety car driver when we were on the starting grid, just before we went to air, you weren't needed this morning, mate. You can have a nice lie down. I'm so sorry, I jinxed it. Well, fascinating situation then, as the competitors are going to have another opportunity to reset. So let's see how things are going to continue to progress now as we go to safety car. Now, I don't really know what happened between Abkasava and Ludoki. Noah Lyle has made it back to the pits, by the way, to, I can only guess, repair damage. Whether it's to retire or not, we don't know. I think he has left the pits again, Noah Lyle, so hopefully that means he will be obviously able to finish the race, but certainly with damage to the car that needed to be repaired. The extraction vehicles are going out on the circuit. Now, where is the incident? Is it up at the final turn? I thought it might have been. But it would be good to see what the incident is and where it occurred. So, an interesting situation for the contenders. So, Vivazak, Boya, Capaldi, Barnard and Badua. Top 5. Incidents are already being cleared pretty quickly. So this is technically, there is the incident. You can see both drivers are out of the car, so that's good news. So they're all okay. As long as they've left their steering wheels in the car, which I can see they have, then it should be fairly quick to manoeuvre. And the Marshall team that we've got here at Dubai Autodrome, as it was at Yas Marina, are very slick, very professional. They've got good at this now over the last 20 years at Dubai Autodrome. Amazing to think, isn't it, that 2024 is the year that the Dubai Autodrome celebrates its 20th anniversary. It opened in October 2004. And of course, the mission was to put on some of the greatest races in the world of motorsport. I think the only thing that hasn't really been here in the past is the Formula One World Championship, and Formula One cars have been here, because of course each year for the last 3 we've had the historic Dubai Grand Prix revival, and that's one of the best events that you can possibly come to at the end of December each year, or beginning of December each year, I should say. The first of those was back in 2021, and my co-commentator during yesterday's race, Ollie Webb, actually became the first driver to win a race on the Dubai Autodrome in a Formula One car when he took James Hunt's original Hesketh that won the 1975 Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort to victory in that particular encounter. So this circuit has seen quite a lot of amazing battles over the years in many different forms of racing. Sports cars, touring cars, GTs, obviously single-seaters as well. GB2 Asia came here many years ago. So it really has been an amazing 2 decades of motor racing in the Gulf for this fantastic circuit. Opened in the same year as the Sakhir circuit in Bahrain. And racing here really has bbeen phenomenal. And this is one of the very few circuits in the world of motorsport that I have had the pleasure of not only being driven around at full speed, but also driving in the past as well. It is a fantastic race circuit, and what a sensational place it is. Very fitting location to end the season. So let's see how it's okay. I love the fact that Ken Heathcote is still trying to defend my honour here. I love that. He says 1 time it's okay, 2 times it's coincidence, but if we get a 3rd safety car, we'll know certainly that you've well and truly jinxed it. Thanks for keeping tabs, Ken. Sometimes we all need someone looking over our shoulder. So hopefully this is going to be safety car in this lap, because it was fairly quick for the drivers to leave the cars, and even quicker for the extraction team to be on the scene. And they are mighty fast here at Dubai Autodrome. They never really keep us held up for long. And of course, this is technically the 1st lap behind the safety car, because the safety car was called midway round a racing lap. I think we're going to have a 2nd lap, just because there's 2 cars in the same place. And trying to extract 2 cars in that position is just a little bit more awkward than 1. So we'll have another lap behind the safety car, which means we're probably going to have a 10-minute dash to the flag from here on out. Let's talk you through the order as we build up to that. Tazanapol Intrafavazak from Thailand is going to be in first position on the restart. Second is going to be the Spaniard Mari Boya. Third for Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. Fourth is Taylor Barnard. Fifth is Brando Badua. And then it is Tuukka Tarpanen in sixth place. He really is trying to charge his way back to another podium. I think he wants to make sure that at baggage check-in on the flight home to Finland, he's going to have absolutely no excess baggage left. He's going to have more trophies than he is underwear by the time he's finished this weekend. And I happen to know for a fact that his hometown in Finland has already prepared the town square on Monday for him to have the most amazing town party tomorrow in Finland. I really, really wish I could get on a plane to Finland this evening and go and be part of that, because I have a feeling that's going to be the best European party you'll ever go to. It'll be very cool indeed to see how that all finishes up for him, but of course it'll be just a nice galvanisation for the rest of the season. So continuing on with the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, race 2, round 5. 2 races to go in the championship, including this one, of course. And it'll be really exciting to see how it continues. So Taz Intrafavazak, Mari Boya, and Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. It's interesting, someone says he's probably flying back home to Maranello, where he currently lives. I have been reliably informed he's going to make a quick stop in Finland first and then go to Italy. He wants to be part of that moment. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to be part of that celebration? Safety car in at the end of this lap. Here we go. Back into the race action we will go this time. And with 11 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be a real dash to the flag. But it's definitely going to help that we've had 2 safety car periods, because the tyres won't be quite as worn out as they were at the end of race 1 yesterday. So a few drivers will have a little bit more confidence in the tyres in race 2 than they did in race 1, just because they won't have been stretched to quite the same level. So it's definitely going to be an interesting situation for the drivers to see how they're going to finish things up. But let's see when Taz Intrafavazak goes for glory on this restart, with Boya now in second, Fittipaldi Jr. now in third, from Barnard and Badua. The order is different from the previous start. So let's see how it continues on. So Mari Boya in behind Taz Intrafavazak. Let's see if we're going to get a restart of the ages. Mari Boya is very close in behind Taz Intrafavazak. And so the Thai has got to be very careful as to where he gets this restart. He is backing them up. This is going to be a very intriguing start. One driver actually having to go off the road to avoid the conflagration. So out of the final turn now, Intrafavazak nails the throttle. Here we go. This is going to be a very tough restart. Boya, Fittipaldi, Barnard, Badua, Tarpanen all want to be part of it. It's green, 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 and off we go. Mari Boya tucks in behind the rear wing of Taz Intrafavazak, who's trying to throw the toe. They come off onto the main start straight, down the dip, bottom of the crest, into that corner, brake, turn in, carry the radius right as close to the curb as possible. This is going to be a tough move onto the inside of Zachary David. I thought Enzo Peugeot was going to get that move finished up. He has to bail out of it in the end, so close to contact. They were able to avoid it. And apparently the incident at turn 9 on the opening lap between Messrs. Vesalaho, Barashi, Pierre and Gao is going to be investigated after the race. So they'll have to figure out who did what to who. The rest of the field is just trying to mix it on the opening lap of this third start in the hope that they can gain some advantage. But Intrafavazak leads, Boya second, Fittipaldi, Barnard, Badua, Tarpanen, Lugachukwu, Wharton, David, Peugeot, Kamara, Kanato Lee, Costa Tabaris, Teofil Nal is all the way up in 14th, by the way. He started 29th. So he's already in 14th. That is astonishing from Teofil Nal as Barnard goes long, trying to go round the outside of Fittipaldi, as meanwhile we've got Garfias, this is Peugeot and Lee renewing their battle from yesterday. And off onto the sand goes also Peugeot, and he's lost 2 places as a result of that. One of them is to Kamara, the other one appears to be for Kanato Lee, I do believe. So we've got Chukwu still hustling behind his teammate as James Wharton has managed to get through. James Wharton, formerly of the Ferrari Drivers Academy, no longer. Now let's have a look at a replay of what's gone on in the background. As off the road goes one of the Santalocks. Goodness me, almost launched for infinity and beyond there. 2 wheels on the deck and 2 in the air. Very scary moment on the restart. And look at Emerson Fittipaldi Jr., he's really struggling for tyres. He's going to lose more positions. Badua is now going to get through after Barnard has already done the deed. There's just no pace in this MP car at all. You've got to hope that when they go back to Europe and they get back to their home environment, the Dutch team, MP Motorsport, are going to be able to have the tools to get the job done again as Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. goes long on the brakes, trying to go back round the outside of Badua. Two Formula One names, mixing it wheel to wheel. The last time the names Badua and Fittipaldi shared a Formula One grid would have been back in 1993 when Christian Fittipaldi and Luca Badua were on the same starting grid in the Australian Grand Prix in 93, 31 years ago. So there is Tuukka Tarppanen now trying to make his move on Brando Badua. And considering how confident he is, he's just going to storm in. Tuukka, don't break the car. Goodness me. He's got no pressure. He's already become champion. So he may as well just go for it and show what he can do when there's no pressure on him. Epic racing so far. And poor Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. has tumbled all the way back now. So he's down in about 8th position, I think. 9th, actually. Behind Zachary David. It's all gone wrong for him, sadly, as Tarppanen now tries to go after 4th position to take on Brando Badua. 7 minutes left on the clock. And can Tarppanen get himself into 4th position from P10? This once again demonstrates just how worthy a champion he has become. But it's Tazanapol in the Fivazak who leads, Marty Boyer in 2nd, and Taylor Barnard in 3rd. It will be 3 very different drivers on the podium compared to race 1 yesterday. But it will be very deserving indeed for all 3 of them as Brando Badua sets a personal best time the last time around, a 1:58.7. And look at how close Murray Boyer is to Taz in the Fivazak. He wants to go for the victory. This is a really exciting battle for the win now. Boyer goes a little wide. And PHM AIX are 1, 3 and 4. They have a genuine chance to eclipse the podium here. And that really would make the guys back in Germany very, very happy indeed. Of course, they've also signed their fantastic deal with the AIX investment group, which of course is based on about floor 123 or something of the Burj Khalifa here in Dubai. Up to the inside line, that is Tuukka Tarppanen, fending off from James Wharton. No, you don't. The 2 of them renewing their battle from last year in the F4 UAE Championship. They actually collided with each other in the final race of the year at Yas Marina, but on that occasion the title went the way of James Wharton. Now Tuukka Tarppanen is already the champion, and he's sorted out James Wharton. It's amazing how fast the rate of development is for certain drivers in certain cars, in certain teams, in certain disciplines, in certain situations. But certainly last year, Wharton had the upper hand on Tarppanen. This year, it looks as though the pendulum has swung in a completely different direction. So really good work so far. An excellent display at the moment. Still, Mari Boyer hustling Taz into Fivazak. Thought he was going for the move. Certainly wanted to make in for Fivazak, think he was. Tarppanen currently defending to cover Wharton. Down to the hairpin. Mari Boyer is absolutely pushing. And the car number 8 is reported to the stewards for not respecting the road instruction at turns 1 and 2. That is Rafael Camara. The pressure of fighting for 3rd in the championship could well be getting to the Brazilian, especially now that Mari Boyer is in P2. That's going to be a big points haul for the Spaniard, who wants to finish this season as best of the rest, behind Tuukka Tarppanen and Taylor Barnard. So how is it all going to finish up? There is Taz in the Fivazak going long through the hairpin. Mari Boyer tightening up the radius, looking for a chance to go underneath him. Can he get the inside line? 4.5 minutes left. And still Mari Boyer pushing Taz into Fivazak all the way. This is a good opportunity to see what the racecraft is like between these two. And don't forget, you're going to see both of these boys in action in Formula 3 this year. And the man behind them you're going to see in Formula 2. Down the straight. Mari Boyer's got a really good slipstream here on into Fivazak, and the tie knows it. Mari Boyer's going to try. Looks one way, looks the other. Decides to go slow in and fast out in the hope that into Fivazak's going to go on the curb, which he does. Mari Boyer's now going to have the momentum, but will he have the track position? Taylor Barnard sat in 3rd position, needs to stay hungry here. He may get a chance to make a move of his own. To the right. Tightens up. A couple of different racing lines chosen by the drivers there. Perhaps by habit, perhaps not quite by choice. The crosswinds added to the high temperatures, added to the sandy nature of this circuit, definitely making it tough. Fivazak trying not to over-wheel spin the car through the left-hander, which climbs in camber as they come onto the back straight. And And he is a sitting target for Mari Boyer in the slipstream here. He's got to be very calculated as to where he places the car in the braking zone. Does Boyer go for it? And the Fivazak makes sure that there's not going to be a line up the inside line, but Boyer can drive out of the turn. They're really struggling for traction, and as a result, Boyer gets a slightly faster run off the hairpin. But Fivazak places the car perfectly. He's married to the white line on the inside line. Barnard is going to try and undercut them both out of the hairpin. Slow in, fast out. Barnard is close, and so too now is Brandon Badua. And Tuka Tarpanen's not far away in fifth. This is terrific racing with only 2 minutes and 40 on the clock. Fivazak, side by side. Boyer's going to try and go the long way round. That won't work. Is there enough of an undercut for Barnard? Not quite. They are really struggling to get these cars to turn in. The wheel spin and the aggression of the sand on the road is going to make it very tricky from here on. Boyer now going to try and go the long way round. Can he go right round the outside of Fivazak? No, the tyre places him wide. That's enough for Barnard to get the switcheroo. Now they're going to be up against the wall. Barnard takes the slipstream from his teammate, and Badua takes the slipstream from Boyer. It's like a Hollywood film right now. Barnard's going to try and get them both. Surely Barnard can have the inside line. Boyer around the outside takes the lead from Barnard. Can Barnard take the lead? Boyer drifts out wide. He's got no choice. He has to run deep, and Barnard gets the lead. Absolutely brilliant. Taylor Barnard snatches the lead in fantastic fashion. Now, can Fivazak get himself back in a second? And if Badua can move through, Tarpanen slices on the inside of Badua. That is bravery unbound from Tuka Tarpanen. He loses a place and gains a place. So Wharton slips through into fourth, and Brandon Badua loses ground. Oh my goodness. Tuka the Tiger absolutely pouncing. It didn't work out on that occasion, and I think Brandon Badua has gone. He's absolutely gone from the fray here. And he's dropped a long way back as a result. Wharton trying to hold off Tarpanen. As round the outside comes Ugachukwu. Beautiful move from Ugachukwu on the outside of Tuka Tarpanen. Absolutely magic from the New Yorker. That was stunning round the outside. Just when you think you've seen the best of these guys, they deliver something special. And Ugachukwu really has dug deep there. Tarpanen tried to get him back. No chance. Ugachukwu on the bandwagon, and such a move. Superb. Now he's going to try and take on James Wharton. Let's have a replay. Now this is what happened to Brandon Badua. Tarpanen's obviously made his move on the inside, and Badua's had to skate out wide. And that's what happened on the sand. It's an ice rink. He's gone pure Torvill and Dean. What a shame. Poor Brandon Badua. It was looking like it could have been a clean sweep of the podium for PHM AIX at one point. But Taylor Barnard is in the lead going into what is now going to be the penultimate lap, because we've only got 10 seconds left on the clock. And Mari Boyer will try his best to take on Taylor Barnard. Barnard, Formula 2 driver, versus Mari Boyer, Formula 3 driver. Taz Fivazak, Formula 3 driver in third. And James Wharton, Frecker start of 2024 incoming. In fourth position ahead of Ugachukwu, one of the moves of the weekend. Up in fifth place around the outside of Tuka Tarpanen. Then Zachary David, Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. Just no pace in that MP car at all, and that's pretty much been the state of their season out in the Middle East. Hopefully when they get back to Europe, they'll go back to doing what they do best. Ninth place for Teofil Nile. Can we just point that out? Teofil Nile started this race in 29th, and he is now in 20th. Sorry, no, he's gone up 20 places, I should say. So Teofil Nile from 29th to 9th with 2 safety car periods. That is extraordinary from the Frenchman. And the final point looks like it's going to go the way of Rafael Camara. Just amazing. Just when we thought that Teofil Nile's form was going to fade completely, to make up 20 places in 25 minutes, plus 2 safety cars, that is just astonishing from Teofil Nile. So still they are going into position, having a really solid run, but it looks as though Taylor Barnard is going to get the job done here. And it will be a nice recompense after fighting tooth and nail to keep the championship alive as long as possible. He gave it everything he had, but second position is going to be secured in the championship fight with this race victory if he can hold on to it one more lap from Mari Boyer. And let's not forget that he wanted to be either first or second in this championship, because by coming home in the top two, he now will secure enough super license points to not test in Formula One, race in Formula One. It's a big moment for Taylor Barnard. So winning this race here in Dubai, he may not be champion, but he'll remember it for the rest of his career. It could just be the moment that Formula One teams decide, you know what, this British boy wonder is worth a punt. Poor Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. The team had just been on the back foot since the start of the year in Yas Marina, when the equipment hadn't all arrived yet at Yas Marina from that cargo crate that was stalled in the Red Sea after they had done their Indian motorsport program. You got a feel for them. Had that been okay from the start of the season, I think we would have seen the real MP Motorsport, the real team that we know as championship contenders, as championship winners. Hopefully when we return to Europe, they'll be back to their normal form. But this man, Taylor Barnard, you run out of superlatives for this man. Handed the chance to race in Formula 2 by PHM AIX on pure merit, not on money, on pure merit and ability. He is the reserve driver for the Naomi McLaren Formula E team as well. They clearly feel he's got the talent for the future. Nico Rosberg picked this boy up in 2018 in his karting days and saw that there was a magical spark in this British boy. Ever since that point, superlatives are thin on the ground. They've just been all used about Taylor Barnard over the last few years. He's one of the nicest, friendliest, most charming young men in the paddock. And if there was ever a heartwarming story coming in, then you really want it to happen to Taylor Barnard. This win will be a nice compensatory prize. He's kept the title fight alive as long as possible. He's pushed every time he's had an opportunity, and the PHM AIX team can celebrate a win in the final weekend of the year after all. He started with a win, he'll end with a win. Taylor Barnard wins race 2 at Dubai. Brilliant drive, excellent performance, and amazing racecraft. That is what you can hope to look forward to this year when he moves to Formula 2. That's the kind of talent we're talking about. This boy has everything it takes. But it took 2 campaigns in Formula Regional Middle East to show the world what he can do in one of the toughest single-seater race cars on the planet to tame. Taylor Barnard has been the British bulldog that can show the world what he can do. A great drive, absolutely brilliant run here in Formula Regional Middle East, and a superb talent for the future. Great work from Marty Boyer in second place. He absolutely deserves that. Oh, hang on. I think we've got a 5-second penalty for Marty Boyer in second position. Yes, Marty Boyer, the 64, has been given a 5-second penalty. So Marty Boyer, who is due to be second, has been given a 5-second penalty according to my timing screen. So Marty Boyer will now drop. So Marty Boyer, a 5-second penalty as the flag comes down. And that means that Tazin Fuvazak will be second, James Wharton will be third. Well, that is post-race drama. And you've got a feel for Marty Boyer. 5 seconds will drop him all the way to 7th position. That is disastrous. Well, the drama just keeps on coming here. Absolutely unbelievable. So Marty Boyer has a 5-second penalty. Oh, that is so unfortunate. He drove beautifully. Inter Fuvazak third, Wharton fourth, but they will elevate. Then Ugachukwu, Tapanen, David, Fittipaldi, Teofil Nile, a brilliant drive from 29th to 9th. That is extraordinary. And Rafael Kamara takes the final point in P10. Boyer will drop from 2nd to 7th with that penalty. Kanato Lee 11th and Enzo Peugeot 12th. Those two have been so impressive considering they joined the championship mid-season and they're mixing it against drivers who have been there since the start. Bora and Del Pino drove very well there to move up the order. Tabares 15th from Carrasquedo, Bennett, Garfias, Goa and Giovanni Mascio. Edgar Pierre, Finley Green, Wang Shongwei, Noah Lyle and Brandon Badua right at the back after his spin. He'll be miserable about that. In fact, he actually pulled it into the pits to retire. So Lyle, Badua, Abkasava, Liu, Vezalaho and Isaac Barashi, all retirements. But full credit to Taylor Barnard. What a performance. And look, James Wharton is moving into 3rd position. So they have already applied the penalty. Wharton will be 3rd. 2nd will be Tazin Fuvazak. But the victor will be Taylor Barnard. So a very worthy podium for the Australian James Wharton. He deserves that. Great performance from the Mumbai Falcons driver this season. Never easy to step in as a rookie. He was the F4 UAE champion last year, and he's been a front runner all the way through the campaign. But for PHM AIX, they get a free leaving present from the UAE. They don't get a 1-3, they get a 1-2. And Taylor Barnard is the winner of the penultimate race of the season, and that's very justified. A brilliant driver in a brilliant team. There we go, Taylor Barnard, a fabulous victory. That more than makes up for the disappointment of yesterday. They say you're only ever as good as your last race. Well, he's just won his last race. There is another one to come, of course. And great work from Taz in the Vivazak. So close to the win. So close to getting it done. Drove beautifully. Definitely deserved the plaudits. There he is with his driver coach, Callan O'Keefe, from the School of Send. A brilliant drive from Taz in the Vivazak. So close to the win. But Taylor Barnard, his teammate, has pulled it off in fine style once again. There he is with Mikhail Aloshin, the former IndyCar driver, who is part of the PHM AIX run. But what a sensational performance it has been. Taylor Barnard, winner. That's a perfect tonic to go into the world of Formula 2. Very deserved indeed. That is a conversation about tyres, I'm sure. Taz in the Vivazak doing everything he could to hang on to the victory. He looks so disappointed. He came so close to the win. But he'll still take silverware, and he can still be very proud of what he's done. A very, very worthy driver, Taz in the Vivazak. And when we've already started talking about Alex Albon as a future Grand Prix winner, we've waited years for a successful Thai after Prince Bira all the way back in the 1950s. Now we've got a whole collection of Thai superstars building. Because not only do we have Alex Albon, we also have Taz in the Vivazak, and in F4 in Spain this year, you'll also get Enzo Tarnvanitschkel, the former karting junior world champion. So, highlights to come. What a brilliant race. Ladies and gentlemen, a fabulous performance in the second race of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, round 5, and what a brilliant podium. 3 very different faces we'll see on the podium this time here at the Dubai Autodrome. Let's welcome them out. In third position for Australia, James Wharton. Another great run to the podium and some fantastic silverware for the Mumbai Falcons racer. In second position for Thailand, Tazanapal Inthravavazak. A great run for the superstar driver for PHM AIX, and it's a 1-2 for the team, because on the top step of the podium for the United Kingdom, Taylor Barnard. An excellent run for the F2-bound superstar. It'll be an epic run to the season to finish him off. It is my great honor to invite the General Manager of Dubai Autodrome, Mr. Faisal Abdullah Al-Salawi, who will present the trophies to our drivers. In third position for Australia and Mumbai Falcons Racing, James Wharton. And in second for Thailand and PHM AIX Racing, Tazanapal Inthravavazak. And to your race winner for the United Kingdom and PHM AIX Racing, Taylor Barnard. Finally, the Rookie Cup trophy, that goes the way of the Australian James Wharton. An epic performance from our contenders. They really have been exceptional here at the United Arab Emirates in the Dubai Autodrome. The circuit celebrating its 20th anniversary, and a fabulous showcase on the penultimate race of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. Just one race to go now in both of our competitions, a championship decider and an absolute brawl in Formula Regional Middle East. Ladies and gentlemen, James Wharton, Taz Inthravavazak, and your race winner, Taylor Barnard. I think it's a very good idea, sir, to move out of the podium on this point, because the drivers will want to celebrate. They'll have their top step of the podium photographed, and then a little bit of a party in the sunshine here in Dubai. We have great action still to come in F4 UAE and Formula Regional Middle East with one race left. And I think the boys are actually going to keep their suits dry. They don't want to get themselves wet when they've got one race still to go. So fair enough. I'm sure the party will be very exciting when we go racing again for the third and final race of the day. F4 UAE, the championship decider, is next up. 3 drivers in the fight for the title: Keanu Al-Asari, Freddie Slater, and Kian Nakamura-Berta. That is going to be the race of the season. And then, of course, we'll finish up here with Formula Regional Middle East very soon indeed. I hope you've enjoyed so far race 2. Race 3 in both championships should be even better. Championship, stepping up to Formula Regional, not just you, but also the team are rookies. How tough has it been?
Yeah, it's a super tough championship. Obviously, drivers going into F3 and F2, it makes it like quite a tough grid to come in as a rookie from F4 in. But yeah, I think we've kind of surpassed our expectations, especially with the team in you and myself. It was always going to be a big challenge, but yeah, I'd say we've made a lot of progress over the past few weeks.
I guess the confidence must be really high knowing that you have been battling with the top drivers. There's been many occasions this year when you've been mixing it wheel to wheel with Tucker and Taylor.
Yeah, especially the past 2 rounds. Yeah, we had some good battles out in race 2, and yeah, I couldn't really ask for much more, to be fair, in my first year of it. So yeah, it's just a props to the team really for the job they've done and turning it around from the first race this year.
Final race weekend of the season, 3 races left. How do you rate the chances of you and the team?
I'd say quite good. We've got a really good race car, and if we can qualify a bit better this time round, then I think we can really fight at the front, hopefully this weekend. So yeah, we'll just see what it brings.
We're excited to see you out there. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
This year has been all about stepping out of F4 into Formula Regional. Just how big a jump has it been from going from one car to the other?
Yeah, obviously it's a big step in speed between the 2 cars, but I think the important part was to make the transition as smooth as possible, and I think it's been going quite well. There's been some ups and downs, but I think overall throughout the championship we've been steadily improving, which I think is what's important.
You've been able to grab some silverware in the first few weekends, and obviously the pace is there. Is this a good positive for the rest of your 2024 season?
Yeah, definitely. I think the pace has been getting better and better each weekend. I'm feeling more comfortable with the car, which is good. And yeah, I want to try to end off this weekend on a high and ideally get some more silverware.
Unlike a few of the other rookies in the championship, you also have the backing of a Formula One team. Does that bring an added pressure to it, or does that actually make things a little easier in terms of how weekends play out?
I mean, I think it's a good step in terms of motivation to push me even more to try to, just do the best job I can. So, as I said, try to finish off strongly this weekend.
We're looking forward to seeing how that goes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great to hear then from Bruno Del Pino, Noah Lyle and Ugobuga Chukwu, 3 of the rookies that have been sensational over the course of this 2024 Formula Regional Middle East Championship campaign in various different teams and in various different situations. For Bruno Del Pino in particular, this could be a very exciting battle out on the circuit. 31 degrees Celsius air temperature on the Dubai Autodrome circuit, and 28 minutes plus the additional lap. Going to make things very entertaining out there to see how it all continues out. So it'll be tricky to know exactly how the racing will fare. But my goodness me, have we had a fantastic season. We've had a worthy champion, a worthy rookie champion, and they are one and the same man. Tuukka Taponen of Finland, Race GP becoming the team's champions. But now we go into the battle of Formula Regional Middle East, ready to see who is going to finish the deal in the final race of the year. Just because Taponen is champion, that doesn't mean he'll win the final race of the year, but that doesn't mean he won't want to any less. He is a fabulous competitor, but there are several of those around who want to bail out of this championship on the top spot. Just check out Brando Badua, 2nd on the grid. Bruno Del Pino, 3rd for MP. 4th on the grid, Teofil Nal. It's going to be fascinating to see if the Santadoc driver can get himself to the victory, especially after he went from 29th to 9th in the first race of the day today, race 2 of the weekend. It's been very exciting to see how it's all going to play out, and we're definitely going to have a fascinating run. The crowd is ready for a final bout out on the circuit. They've been absolutely fantastic so far here at Dubai Autodrome. We're really excited to see how everybody is going to finish off this season in fantastic fashion. The drivers are all in position. The cars are ready to go racing. And for the last time in this Formula Regional Middle East Championship season campaign, our drivers are ready to push the limits. There are so many of them that could take the victory in fantastic fashion here. Tuukka Taponen, the man who starts in pole position, is the next big thing for Finland. He won the championship yesterday in both the rookie and overall championship rankings with 2 races to spare. Very impressive indeed for the young Finn. And certainly as a man who is now part of the Ferrari Young Driver Academy, it may not be too long before you see that kid in Formula One. Remember where you heard his name first, because it's definitely going to be one you'll hear a lot in motor racing over the next decade. Brando Badoa lining up in second position. The Italian has been working very hard over the course of these last 5 weeks, has already taken a couple of podiums on this very circuit. The last time we visited here, he got the podium in race 2 and 3. He starts on the front row of the grid. Could he bow out of the championship with a race win for the PHM AIX squad? He's very well placed to do so. Bruno Del Pino, the Spanish driver for MP Motorsport, third on the grid. He was cruelly denied a victory at Yas Marina a week ago in the reverse grid race when he was leading. The suspension failed going into the final bend of the Yas Marina F1 circuit, and he was pitched into the wall. He certainly didn't deserve to be finishing his race that early. Can he turn this race into a victory? The green flag flies on the top of the gantry, and the drivers begin their quest for the last race of the year in Formula Regional Middle East 2024. After this, the drivers will return to their various motor racing programs, be that Formula 2, Formula 3, or Formula Regional Europe. It'll be fascinating to see how these drivers continue to progress their careers. I'm sure you'll all be following them very closely. But these drivers want to finish the season in a positive campaign. Tuukka Tarpanen and Brando Badoa, the front row of the starting grid. Bruno Del Pino in third, along with Teofil Nile. Then Taylor Barnard beside Zachary David, Tazanabol Indofuvazak and Ugo Wagachukwu. James Wharton and Costa Tapares from Mari Boya and Kanato Lee. Then Rafael Kamara and John Bennett, Nikhil Bora and Alexander Abkasava. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. alongside Jose Garfias. Then Enzo Peugeot and Jesse Cadasquedo, Giovanni Mascio and Finley Green. Noah Lyle is alongside Yaroslav Zalaho. Then Isaac Barashi, Gal Yujia, Wang Chongwei, Liu Duqi and Edgar Pierre will finish off the field. So everybody getting themselves dialed in and ready for an exciting duel around the course. 28 minutes plus the additional lap, of course. And at the end of this race, we will conclude festivities at the Dubai Autodrome. Obviously, there is going to be a championship ceremony for all of the contenders that are invited from both F4 UAE and Formula Regional. So if your flight is until tomorrow morning, do stick around if you're in that paddock, as we have a fabulous championship ceremony. It'll be great to celebrate the top 3 drivers in the series of 2024 in both F4 UAE and Formula Regional Middle East. But it's going to be a fascinating conclusion, and it will be a wonderful end to the season, as Tuukka Tarpanen just wants to have one more race of fun before he disappears back to Maranello, where he lives in Italy, as the epicenter of the Ferrari community. I went there a couple of years ago myself, having never been to Ferrari country. Wanted to soak up the atmosphere myself, and I can tell you, you really can feel the history through the trees, through the buildings, through the floor, through the sense of excitement and passion in the local community. It would be a wonderful place to choose to live. And I have to say, Tuukka Tarpanen, he's going to become very accustomed with life as a Ferrari driver over the next couple of years. And it would be wonderful to see if he can culminate that with a Formula One berth in years to come. Tarpanen, Badoa, Del Pino, Nile, Barnard and David are your top 6. All 6 of those drivers have what it takes to win. They've all managed to finish near the sharp end of the field at various points over the course of the season. Badoa has had podiums. Del Pino should have won in race 2 of Yas Marina last week. Teofil Nile has been a race winner. Taylor Barnard has been a race winner and vice champion. Zachary David has grabbed seconds and thirds in this championship. Taz Indofuvazak came dangerously close to winning in race 2 earlier on today. Ugo Wagachukwu, James Wharton and Costa Tapares have all scored podiums in the rest of the top 10, as too has Mari Boya. Kanato Lee has come very close to it, and Rafael Kamara is desperately trying to score 3rd in the championship from 13th on the grid. It's going to be very tricky. So there's a lot to come, there's a lot of battles ahead of us, but all of the teams from Race GP to PHM AIX to MP to Santaloc to Mumbai Falcons to Evans GP at the sharp end of the field are going to give us plenty of excitement in the final race of this 2024 season campaign. The final cars make their way to the grid, and boy oh boy, is this going to be a sensational end to the season. 14 brilliant races, some great winners, some fantastic results as Liu Duqi takes his place at the back of the grid. He joked to me earlier that he was starting basically at the hotel at the final turn. The green flag flies, and for the last time, it's an end-of-term vibe in Dubai Autodrome as the Formula Regional Middle East Championship concludes with the final race of the year. Let's race to Dubai, and it's a terrible start for Taylor Barnard. Barnard's no himself going anywhere. Now he gets going, but he's going to be very slow away, and that's going to ruin his race. So it's time for the other PHMAX driver to go for it, as now Brandon Badua is going to try and take the lead into turn 1. Tarpanen runs round the outside. Brandon Badua is going to try and go for it as they work their way through the first corner, but Tarpanen remains in the lead, and there's problems further back. That is Jaroslav Vezalaho who has spun the car. So Vezalaho spins. There's damage elsewhere, as somebody's got big damage in the rear quarter. I think that's Finley Green, and one of the MP Motorsport cars has got damage as well. That could well be Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. But the drivers work their way through. We'll double check it as Teofil now slots in behind Brandon Badua. And Zachary David has made a good start. That puts him up into 4th position. Del Pino has slipped to 5th place behind, I think, Ugo Ugochukwu, who's made a sensational start. Excellent work from the American, as now he finds himself in 5th position. So let's see if they can continue the charge down the back straight. Tarpanen, Badua and Teofil Nal. That's the top 3 at the moment. Zachary David has worked his way through into 4th position as they get into the hairpin for the first time. Is everybody going to get through okay? All trying to push themselves a little bit further forward, but still the driving standards are okay on the opening lap. So Tarpanen leads Badua and Teofil Nal in the Santa lock in 3rd position ahead of Zachary David. So it's certainly been a good start. There is the damage. It's Isaac Barashi that has had the damage to his car. So Isaac Barashi out of the race. And it looks perfectly okay to me, but he's had a miserable Sunday in the final day of the season. Let's have a look at what happened. Look in the rear quarter on the right of your screen. You're about to see a little conflagration. Barashi had to take to the curbs and got into the side of Jaroslav Vezalaho. That's where the big contact happened. So unfortunately, Barashi trying to take avoiding action. He just went into the side of Jaroslav Vezalaho's car. And that's game over for him. And I think there was damage to one of the pinnacles, maybe, in the back of the grid. That could have been Finley Green. We'll double check as they come through again. But out in front, Tarpanen, then Badua, then Teofil Nal ahead of David, Ugochukwu, Del Pino, into Fuvazak, Walton, Boyer and Taparis, and there's a problem into turn 1. That is game over for Nikhil Bora. So Nikhil Bora has had a problem with his front wing. I don't know whether that was contact on the straight or whether it was earlier on. But certainly Nikhil Bora out of the race no matter what happens there, or at least limping back to the pits and trying to recover it, but it's certainly game over for Nikhil Bora. Finley Green has come into the pit, so it was him in trouble, as Taylor Barnard now tries to resurrect something from this race. We got damage to somebody's car. I think that's Finley Green's bodywork that's in the middle of the road there. Oh, and someone's run over it. Now, that is a big problem, because obviously with debris on the circuit, safety car. So, unfortunately, somebody's already run over that. So there could be a puncture as a result, and there's Nikhil Bora out of the car. So it is game over. He basically drove over his own front wing, but his safety car, and somebody's just driven over a patch of the bodywork left by Finley Green's pinnacle. So I don't know whether that's going to be game over for somebody, or whether they're going to get away without any damage to the car, but that was a very scary moment there. So big difficulties, and I have to say, it's been a tricky one there to try and call, and unusual that we had so many safety cars today. Now, here's what happened. Look at Nikhil Bora down to the first corner. Now it looks as though he's had contact earlier on, because the wing just buckles underneath the car. There's nothing he can do about it. It just literally parts company from the nose cone, and he ends up essentially driving over it through to the first corner. So there was nothing Nikhil Bora could do about that. He was a pure passenger. So I'm afraid it's game over for him. And you've got to feel very sorry indeed for the Indian driver who took a win earlier this season. He's not really had any luck at all in the 2024 campaigns. But there's still going to be a really sensational performance from the drivers in this one. Badua and Niall trying to stay as close to Tarpanen as possible. Now, Barnard has dropped all the way to 19th as a result of what happened at the start, where basically he wasn't able to get off the line for some reason, clearly a clutch slip. Although Barnard has now got up to 16th place. So can he make his way back into the points? Well, that is debatable, but it certainly could happen. So let's see how it continues. Now, one question on the stream is, why is Barnard so far back? Well, he had a clutch issue, I think, on the start line and barely got away. So Taylor Barnard struggling essentially to get the car moving on the start line, but he has managed to keep himself going. As Tukka Tarpanen and Brando Badua find themselves in first and second places at the moment. So it's going to be there in position for Tuukka Tarppanen to lead the race. Now the safety car is going to drive around the debris. So Tuukka Tarppanen is obviously going to lead the field around, but they have to go one side. Well, Mari Boy has decided he's going to go the other side of the debris. He clearly feels that the inside line is not the way to take the car. Interestingly, he's the only one who decides that. Either that or he's just decided, well, I'm not going to do as I'm told, I'm going to be different and go around the other way. I mean, I shouldn't laugh at that, but that is kind of... Mari Boyer is not the kind of person who disobeys orders, but he certainly has his own style. He has his own flair and way of doing things, and I've always been a very big lover of Mari Boyer as a character. He's incredibly friendly, fantastic at networking, an amazing team player as well. He's not the kind of person who will hide data from a teammate to get one over on them. He loves the idea of bringing the whole team forward so that he can have several of his teammates on the podium with him. That's very much his style. He's a very lovable chap, and I have to say that's I know the reason why he's done that. He hasn't done that because he's trying to basically defy convention. He's doing that just because, well, it's the last race of the year. He's going to have a bit of fun. So he's the only driver who's decided to go the other way. So everybody getting themselves back up to the train of cars once again. And let's see if we're going to have another exciting run from the restart. Tarppanen is your race leader. Are we going to go safety car back into the pits at the end of this one? Or is the safety car going to need to stay out a bit longer? I think it might have to, actually, because there's more debris around the circuit than we first thought. And of course, the problem we've had as well is that because somebody's run over the debris, it's kind of spread it out a little bit further than it should have been. If it had just been that one section of bodywork, then I think it would have been okay to just pick that up and walk away with it, as we did in race 1, I do believe. Or was it race 2? But certainly because somebody's driven over the bodywork, it's now kind of exploded a little bit, and there's going to be shards of carbon all over the circuit as a result of that. So the safety car leads them around. They come out of the final turn. Tarppanen is in the lead, Padua in second, Niall is in third. Fourth place is Zachary David. Then it is Ugo Chukwu in front of Brina Del Pino and Mari Boyer. Then Taz in the Vivazak, Wharton to Paris, Kamara, and then John Bennett doing a great job in 12th ahead of Kanato Lee, Alex Abkasava, Noah Lyle, Taylor Barnard now 16th in front of Enzo Peugeot, and then Jose Garfias from Carrasquedo, Fittipaldi Jr., Mascio, Liu, Gal, Pierre, Wang, and then that is all she wrote, folks, because we have 4 retirements already. Nikhil Bora, Vinley Green, Yaroslav Azalaho, and Isaac Barashi. So as far as I'm aware, we only have 25 of the cars still circulating around the course. And in actual fact, I think Wang Shengwei has actually had to fall behind Edgar Pierre on that lap. He was provisionally ahead of him, but now he's had to go back behind him once again. So the safety car out on the course, and as you can see, the marshals have done a fairly good job there of making sure that the circuit is drivable once more. So for the final 18 minutes or so left of this race, once we go to green flag conditions, it says 19 minutes and 22 on the timer, but it's going to be significantly less than that when we go racing again, and it'll be time plus 1 lap, don't forget. But Tuukka Tarppanen doesn't even need to win this race. He doesn't even need to enjoy the battle out in front. He's just having fun out there now. And that's an interesting point. Somebody in the paddock accosted me yesterday after the race and said, do you think Tuukka will start the 2 races on Sunday in order to avoid the potential of a disqualification? I was very quick to answer him. I said, no, that's not Tuukka's way. Tuukka's a racer. If there's 2 races, he's got a car and he's in it and he's going to be starting from the front, you can bet he'll go for it. He'll race, he'll show up, and he'll still do his absolute best to win it. Tuukka is a bit like Mika Häkkinen. He doesn't do anything other than full chat. He doesn't really do conservative. Right, we're coming in. Safety car in at the end of this lap. The safety car's driven away. So now it's up to Tuukka Tarppanen to hold the field to ransom once again. So this is going to be an interesting one on the restart as Tuukka Tarppanen will lead them around. Badua, Niall, David, Ugo Chukwu, Del Pino, Boya in for the Fuvazak, Wharton, Taparis and Kamara. When is Tuukka Tarppanen going to drop the hammer? He's just having fun out there now. He's already become the champion and he just wants to enjoy one last race to prove he can do it. Now he's going to go for it. There we go. Tuukka Tarpanen has decided to go for the moment. And Brando Badua was good to react, but I think Tarpanen's definitely got about 3-4 car lengths on him already. And as they come off the final turn, Tuukka Tarpanen leads the way, and it's green, 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 green here in Dubai. Off we go to the first turn once again. Green flag racing once more, and Tarpanen leads from Badua, Niall, David, Ugachukwu, and Bruno Del Pino. So down to the first corner, a couple of drivers already starting to make a move or two, as that is Costa Taparis going wheel to wheel with his countryman. James Wharton goes around the outside, has to take to the escape road. And he's had to go along the cones, and that's why he's going to lose several places. You have to do that if you go wide. You can't just rejoin halfway around the radius of turn 2. You've got to go along the cones so that you don't gain an unfair advantage. And that is exactly what Costa Taparis has done there. So here we go up the inside. This is Barnard, I think, trying to go for the overtake on Noah Lyle. Lyle is not going to be intimidated, even if that is Taylor Barnard going for the overtake. So very nicely handled and keeps himself in a decent position. As onto the back straight again we go. And Tuukka Tarpanen leads. Brando Badua in second. Then it is Teofil Nall from Zachary David. Hugo Ugachukwu. Then it is Bruno Del Pino. And we are told that the incident at the start of the race between 15 and 44, i.e. Teofil Nall and Brando Badua, is going to be investigated after the race. Now that's interesting. I didn't see an incident between those two. But apparently, those two are going to be investigated after the race, so that could be interesting for Badua and Niall in second and third. Maybe that was the start that they wanted to have a closer look at, because it was very interesting. Yeah, it is the race start incident between the two of them, and that'll be investigated after the race. Interesting. So Tarpanen is still your race leader, Badua in second, Niall in third. And then Zachary David slotting in fourth position, just keeping it side by side. That's Barnard in another full send mode. He goes wheel to wheel with one of the Evans GP cars. So that is Barnard trying to take on. Now is that he's going for there. Barnard trying to go for the inside move of Costa Taparis. So he's definitely charging his way through the field as quickly as humanly possible. And Barnard comes through across the line in 11th position, I do believe. So still doing a good job. Oh, trying to drive through. A couple of drivers going right over to the edge of the apex there. As Barnard again tries to take on Taparis, can't make the bid. And we've also got a bit of a duel going on here between Kamara and John Bennett. There's several moves already wandering along there. Tazin de Vivazak having a great duel with James Wharton. And Wharton's going to have an opportunity up the inside of Tazin de Vivazak. Oh, that's a good Ugachukwu actually battling for the move. In behind is Kamara. So now we've got Tazin de Vivazak, James Wharton and Rafael Kamara all dueling away for 8th position. Marty Boyer is up the road in front of them. And de Vivazak struggling for tyres by the look of it. And as a result of that, Wharton's got a better run off the turn. He's going to have support from Rafael Kamara. So Tarpanen, Badua, Niall, David, Ugachukwu. And coming towards us, this is going to be Inter Vivazak trying to hold the inside line from Kamara and Wharton. Wharton trying to drive right around the outside. Inter Vivazak goes wide, and Kamara gets past both of them. Great run from the Brazilian. So Rafael Kamara now heads this trio. Great reactions from Rafael Kamara. Looks like Inter Vivazak's having real tyre issues now. Running wide at almost every corner. I think Inter Vivazak may have a problem here. And getting into the battle comes John Bennett. He wants to score some points here. He's already seen Costa Taparis do so, and in the final race of the year, John Bennett has decided enough is enough. I'm going to go for points, and I'm going to make it happen. Right round the outside of Inter Vivazak. Brilliant for Bennett. Contact between Inter Vivazak and James Wharton, I do believe. So Wharton's going to drop back, so is Inter Vivazak. Inter Vivazak's got damage, and Wharton's going to be almost nudged to the side of the road there as Kanato Lee duels it out with Costa Taparis. Very rare for Wharton and Inter Vivazak to make contact like that. Inter Vivazak's bringing it into the pits. He's out. Very unfortunate for the tie. And back to the pit wall. Noah Lyle almost in the pit wall as he duels with Taparis and Lee. So now round the outside, Costa Taparis going to try and take on Kanato Lee. Noah Lyle isn't finished yet. And here comes James Wharton for another look. Having shuffled the deck down to 14th position. Wharton now going up against his countryman, Noah Lyle. And his other countryman is just ahead of him, Costa Taparis. There is Tazin de Vivazak out of the race. It's very much game over for him. Climbs out of the car. And that's it. All done and dusted. Oh, and Noah Lyle gets very close in with James Wharton. Lyle is not happy. Dives back to the inside of his Aussie colleague and picks up the place once more. So Noah Lyle in front of James Wharton. And someone's gone off in the sand in the background by the look of it, because that's more than just crosswinds. That's definitely somebody having kicked up some sand. So down the straight to the braking zone for the hairpin once again, and this is going to be an opportunity for Costa Taparis to take on Kanato Lee. So still they duel away, those two. Great to watch the midfield battles. Even if at the front of the field it's not quite as frenetic as it has been in the past. Tuukka Tarpanen has just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:57.0, and he's going quicker still in Sector 2 on this lap. So the Finn is just having a laugh out there, enjoying himself in the lead. Looking to add one more race win to his tally, with somebody going off there in the background, as Mari Boya is trying his best to fend off from Kamara and Del Pino. So Boya and Kamara have got past Brito Del Pino in the MP. But was there somebody in trouble there in the last couple of moments of that sector? Couldn't quite make it out, but certainly Kamara has now got Mari Boya on the ropes as they duel their way down the straight. 5th position Boya, 6th place Ugachukwu, 7th place is Del Pino. So now Ugachukwu has got to try and drive around the outside of Mari Boya. Boya's going to protect the inside line. Ugachukwu will come back at him. Ugachukwu trying to undercut Mari Boya and keep the draw of the car all the way around the outside. But Boya will place the car in exactly the right place. Ugachukwu almost gets the chance to commit to the inside line for the left. But now it's going to be tricky, and now those tyres really are going to be very hard to handle. Not many drivers will have fresh tyres left at the start of this race. So it means that essentially you are really handling the issues now around the course. So Tappanen, Padua, Niall, David, Boya and Ugachukwu in front of Del Pino. And then it is Kamara and John Bennett ahead of Taylor Barnard, who's got himself back into the points in 10th position. He's worked his way up beautifully over the laps. And we're still not done yet for him. He's still got chances, as there is Ugachukwu in front of Brino Del Pino. Then Kamara and Barnard up the inside, trying to make the bid there on John Bennett. Has he been able to get through? It looks to me as though he has. So I think Taylor Barnard may have found himself in 9th position there. We'll see which car comes through first. It is Taylor Barnard. He's into 9th position. Good driving. So there we are, the two Englishmen. Barnard in front of John Bennett, and there is the other Evans GP car of Costa Taparis. So 10th and 11th for the Evans GP cars. One more car drops out of the points in front of them, and they'll have a double points finish in the last race of the year. So Tuukka Tarpanen keeping that 1 second gap between himself and Brando Badua. Doesn't need to go any further than that. Doesn't need to overstretch himself. Just needs to keep the car nicely balanced. And so far, so good. He's still lapping a good 3 to 4 tenths of a second a lap faster than anybody else out there at this point in the race. Teo Fiona looking good for a final podium finish in front of Zachary David. And then Mari Boya ahead of Ugo Ugachukwu, Brino Del Pino and Rafael Kamara. Taylor Barnard and John Bennett, the final point scorers as it currently stands. But there's still another 9.5 minutes left on the season, plus the additional final lap, which will go onto the timer once the time has ticked down to 0. So Tuukka Tarpanen ahead of Brando Badua. Teofil Nall, after his epic run from 29th to 9th earlier on in race 2, looking to continue by finishing his season with some silverware. Down to the back straight, you can see how much it's become a little bit more spaced out in the top 4. 5th position downwards, it's still very much a fight, because Boya, Ugachukwu, Del Pino and Kamara are very evenly matched for lap times at this point. And Taylor Barnard has worked his way to 9th position, having had what must have been clutch problems at the start, to drop him down to 9th position. But everybody just trying to work themselves into a crescendo. This is the difficulty at this point in the season. In race 3 of a weekend, your tyres are absolutely shouting at you and essentially screaming blue murder, because the tyres don't have any grip anymore. And you're trying your best to make sure that you can actually use them. There's Gao Gujia, the Chinese driver, who's actually behind his teammate Wang Xiongwei now. Not entirely sure what happened there. He obviously had a problem in race 2 earlier on, when he tangled up with the likes of Edgar Pierre and Yaroslav Zalaho, which sent Isaac Barashi into the wall. And sadly, Isaac Barashi has yet to complete a lap in this particular day of racing, and he won't get to now because the two races, the last two of the season, Isaac Barashi has not made it to the end of lap 1 in either race. So Tarpanen in front of Badua and Teofil Nal. And that is Zachary David in 4th. That's not Tarpanen, but that does show you the extent of the gap that's built up now between Zachary David in 4th and Marty Boyer in 5th. And Boyer has started to stretch away a little bit now from Mugachukwu. But the American's going to have big pressure on him because here comes Del Pino and Kamara. Mugachukwu is the kind of driver who can handle that sort of pressure and sustain it. And looking at the fact that we've got 7 minutes and 25 on the clock, he should also have the time to be able to keep this going fairly statutory. Not a major problem for him to hold on to the position. So, Tarpanen, Badua. Zachary David is still trying to close up on Teofil Nal in the hope that he can steal a podium in the final race of the year. But Teofil Nal looks like he's got a decent gap. In fact, actually, Teofil Nal looks like he's actually going to put some pressure on Brandon Badua. He was quicker than him on the last lap, but they're all still 0.3 of a second down on Tuka Tarpanen, who's just done a 1:57.001. That is 0.3 of a second a lap quicker than anybody else. And the new fastest lap for Tuka Tarpanen. He's just been flawless this season. As a rookie driver, in the first weekend, I thought, oh, he's going to do some fairly decent results this year. Some good performances, some good podiums, that'll be nice. I had no idea that from Yas Marina onwards, he would essentially be the dominant force of this championship. And absolutely incredible to watch the Finn continue this amazing journey forward. But now in this race, it's Brandon Badua versus Teofil Nal. That's going to be the closest battle towards the end of the race. We've got 6 minutes left plus the additional lap. Big lock-up from the man in front, and the man in front is Mari Boyer in 5th position. So Boyer may have locked up there on the way to the final turn, unless it was the man in front of him, and that is Zachary David, and that was quite a while ago. He's quite a far way up the road. So into the next lap, lap number 11. But of course, it is a timed race rather than laps allocated. 28 minutes plus the additional lap, so as many laps as you can fit into that point, that's how many laps the race runs to. And Lulu Key has had a problem on the last lap. He's ended up dropping all the way to the back of the field, I'm afraid to say. So problems there for Lulu Key. Tuka Tarpanen set another fastest lap, a 1:56.9 now. It's extraordinary how Tuka Tarpanen is able to find this kind of pace and keep finding it. How is he still finding fastest laps with 5 minutes to go? It's extraordinary from the Finn. Absolutely terrific work that he is just continuing to find this pace in the car. And it's all about confidence. It's all about just his motivation. He hasn't really had too much pressure on him over the course of the last 2 days of racing. Once he got into pole position in both races, it was very much, right, well, I can control this now. So let's just have a good fun run. And yet again, Tuka Tarpanen looking like the man of the moment in Formula Regional Middle East. How strong a year was he going to have in Europe with this kind of pace in the Middle East? It'll be fascinating when that season starts up, and I, for one, will be absolutely glued to that screen. He'll be very much in the capable hands of the likes of Chris McCarthy and George Morgan, no doubt, through the course of the season. They'll talk you through that. And I, for one, will be a massive super fan of Freca watching on. But Formula Regional Middle East has been superb in 2024. We've had an amazing journey to get to this point in the season, and it really has been a relentlessly exciting battle all the way through this championship. And we're very, very excited about the way this championship has concluded. And it's going to continue with just 4 minutes left, plus the additional lap. But what a story it's been. It was an all-British affair in the first round of the championship at Yas Marina, as Taylor Barnard and Arvin Lindblad picked up the wins between them. 2 for Barnard, 1 for Lindblad. Then at the second round of Yas Marina, just a week later on the Grand Prix circuit rather than the corkscrew, Tuka Tarpanen opened up the taps and started to get those wins on the board. A double win at Yas Marina, and then a reverse grid race for Teofil Nal in between. Oh no, Mari Boyer's under investigation for a jump start, possibly. So he could end up with yet another penalty this weekend. Well, that would be a very disappointing way for his season to end. So if Mari Boya can't stretch out 5 seconds over Uga Chukwu, he's going to drop from 5th position. He's already lost a podium to a penalty. He didn't really want to lose another decent points-paying position. So that is not good news for Mari Boya at all. And now to continue the journey, the path of the season so far, Taylor Barnard and Arvid Lindblad picking up the wins from Yas Marina on the corkscrew circuit in the first weekend. Barnard 2, Lindblad 1. Tarpenen picked up a pair of wins at Yas Marina a week later on the Grand Prix circuit for the first time. Teofil Nile getting the reverse grid race in between. Then Taylor Barnard, winner of race 1 at Dubai. Nikhil Bora got the reverse grid win. Rafael Kamara got the win in race 3. Then it was a very different trio of winners at Yas Marina last week. Taylor Barnard, Rafael Kamara and Tuukka Tarpenen. And then Tarpenen picked up his 4th win of the season yesterday to clinch the championship. Taylor Barnard won this morning. And it looks as though Tuukka Tarpenen is going to get win number 5. An amazing performance. And of course, Taylor Barnard has already won 5 races over the course of the season. In fact, Taylor Barnard is not quite in the position to make it 6, but could easily have done so over the course of the year. And in my book, it's very fitting that the 2 title contenders are going to end with 5 wins apiece. Here is the battle from Barnard. He's not giving up. He's going to go wheel to wheel with Kamara and drive around the outside of the Brazilian if he can keep his foot in. Oh, they bang wheels. And Kamara's going to have to go ahead. So Barnard continues on. That could have been very, very close indeed between the 2 drivers. Taylor Barnard just doesn't give up. 5 times a winner in 2024. And it looks like it's going to be 5 times a winner for Tuukka Tarpenen in 2024 as well. The other 5 wins going the way of Teofil Nile, Nikhil Bora, Arvid Lindblad and Rafael Kamara twice. But absolutely superb campaigns this year from both Taylor Barnard and the champion Tuukka Tarpenen. They will end the year, if it stays like this, and there's a minute to go on the clock, with 5 victories apiece from the 15 races. Absolutely extraordinary. The 2 men that were the class of the field. And here's a very audacious move coming from James Wharton to drive around the outside of Costa Taparis and not get shoved around. Now he finishes off the move. Beautiful from James Wharton. Very nicely done. So James Wharton doing a sensational job. Excellent performance from him. And really finishes off in very fluid fashion in that particular overtaking move. It's not done yet because John Bennett is, Costa Taparis is not satisfied with that. And he wants to continue putting the pressure on James Wharton. But here comes Tuukka Tarpenen. He will go into what is going to be the penultimate lap. He's not quite going to have the time to pace himself as they come across the line. So with 10 seconds to go, roughly, he crosses the line to start what will be the penultimate lap. And so Tuukka Tarpenen leads the way. Right, behaviour of number 5 at turn 1 will be investigated after the race. That's Taylor Barnard in his battle with Rafael Kamara. But he actually gave the place up to Rafael Kamara. So it is interesting though, and I was there in the drivers' briefing on Friday evening when they told the drivers, if you run wide at turn 1, you cannot rejoin at the apex at turn 2. You've got to go around the cones and rejoin on the outside of turn 3. So if they feel that Taylor Barnard has actually gained an advantage by not going around those cones, and I'm afraid Barnard may pick up a penalty at the end of this race because it is going to be investigated. That's going to seem harsh, but it can't be one rule for one and one rule for everybody else. So if Barnard has been judged to have essentially kept himself in the battle and gained an advantage by doing so, then he could get a penalty. It's going to be very tough, but everybody did say and was very clear when Eduardo Freitas was there in the drivers' briefing on Friday. They stated, you've got to go around the outside of the cones on the approach to turn 3. You can't just cut back in at the apex of 2. So clearly that's going to be investigated. And that will be very frustrating for Taylor Barnard if he gets a penalty in the final race of the year. So now it is going to be into the final lap of the season. It'll be very close in the final reckoning. And Tuukka Tarpenen's lap times have finally dissipated. He's still doing 1:57.6s. And there's only one driver out on the course that is faster than that at the moment. That's Mari Boya. He's just put in a 1:57.5. But Mari Boya is under investigation for a penalty. And now so too is Taylor Barnard. The last lap of the season. And Tukka Tarpanen has just been relentlessly good this year. Took his 4th win of the championship yesterday. Looks like it's going to be his 5th to match Taylor Barnard's winning tally. But what a consistent season it's been from both men. Look at the gap Tukka Tarpanen has pulled out on Brando Badua. 2.7 seconds. Absolutely astonishing from the Finn. We talked a lot about Andrea Kimi Antonelli and his talent last year. He was a stunning and astonishing driver that has already been talked about in spades, not just back home in Italy, but across the European motorsport spectrum. You run out of superlatives for this boy. Tukka Tarpanen is going to come through, and after Andrea Kimi Antonelli scored 192 points in last year's Formula Regional Middle East Championship to become a rookie champion, Tukka Tarpanen is going to do exactly the same thing. The only difference is going to be he's going to score, wait for it, 255 points. That is unbelievable. We thought that Kimi Antonelli was impressive last year, and he was. Oh, hang on, there looks like a bit of water coming out of Zachary David's car there. So Zachary David's got a little bit of a water leak by the look of it. I've not seen that in a Formula Regional car before. He's got to be careful, he actually makes it to the end of the race. But out in front, there can be no doubt, Tukka Tarpanen actually gets his first track limits warning on that lap. Let's have a look at it again. Zachary David, you can see, look at the back of the car. That's definitely water dripping out of the car. So I've not seen that before, but let's go back to our race leader. Tukka Tarpanen is about to come through in fine fashion. Win number 5 for the champion. It's fantastic from the Finn. He is going to get the job done one more time. Tukka Tarpanen wins at Dubai for the 5th time this season. He is a race winner in Formula Regional Middle East. It's absolute crushing dominance from the Finn. Absolutely spectacular ahead of Brando Badua and Théophile Nile, the Frenchman. An amazing end to the season for Tukka Tarpanen. He just cannot be beaten once he gets into the lead. And an absolutely amazing run. Can you believe he has finished in the points in every single race this year, and he has not finished a race lower than 7th. Just an extraordinary run to the title for Tukka Tarpanen, and he ends the year with 255 points. Absolutely extraordinary. A very impressive run indeed from Tukka Tarpanen. Just to give you an indication, he finishes the year on 255 points. 375 are possible in this championship if you win all 15 races, which nobody's ever going to do, and I will happily eat 17 hats if anybody gets it done. But Tukka Tarpanen has absolutely stunned the paddock. Rookie driver to rookie champion. Tukka Tarpanen wins from Brando Badua and Théophile Nile. Zachary David in P4. From Marty Boyer, under investigation. Ugabuga Chukwu, Bruno Del Pino and Rafael Kamara. Taylor Barnard 9th, but also under investigation. John Bennett finally gets a point. And absolutely brilliant the drive was too. James Wharton is 11th in front of Costa Taparis. Kanato Lee, Noah Lyle and Jessica Descado. Alexander Abkasava ahead of Enzo Peugeot, Jose Garfias, Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. and Giovanni Mascio. Edgar Pierre in front of Wang Xiongwei, who is the leading Chinese driver home, in front of Gao Yujia and Liu Ruqi. And then sadly the retirements, Taz Vivazak, Nick Ilbora, Finley Green, Yaroslav Azalaho and Isaac Barashi, who sadly ended his championship by not completing a single lap on the final day of racing. But Tukka Tarpanen of RHGP, he assists them to the team's championship, and he will finish the year with his final victory. Just magnificent. A very tough campaign to win, but to win it the way he has, his 5th race victory, his 9th rookie win of the season. Just an extraordinary performance, and he will pip Ugabuga Chukwu to the rookie championship title. And he has pipped Taylor Barnard to the overall championship, but they both finished the season on 5 wins. It's a very satisfying end to the season for those two. Just imagine what would have happened if Taylor Barnard had not been spun around at the first lap of Yas Marina round 2. He could still have been right in this hunt. Okay, there were problems at Yas Marina in the second race of the weekend, which dropped him all the way to 14th. But even so, it was a close run thing right up until Tuukka Tarpanen decided it wasn't anymore. Never lower than 7th in all 15 races this year. A fabulous performance and a very worthy champion. Tuukka Tarpanen has finished every single lap of this season in the points and a 5 times winner out of 15. Amazing. In fact, in total this year, of the 15 races, Tuukka Tarpanen has come away with a podium finish 10 times out of 15. A 2 out of 3 podium strike rate, a 1 in 3 victory strike rate. Absolutely amazing. A great run from Tuukka Tarpanen and a very worthy champion. And I tell you, all of the things that have been written about Andrea Kimi Antonelli, they're going to have to start writing them too about Tuukka Tarpanen. He is definitely a world champion in waiting. For now, he is the Formula Regional Middle East champion. He'll join Brando Badoa and Teofil Nal on the podium as we get ready to celebrate their achievements one last time. So for the very last time in Formula Regional Middle East 2024, we're going to have a podium ceremony with 3 very worthy racing drivers to celebrate here at Dubai Autodrome. Let's bring them out for the final time in our Winter Series campaign. In 3rd position for France, Teofil Nal. A brilliant final podium for the F4 Spanish champion 2023. Great to see him step up to Formula Regional on the rostrum several times. In 2nd position for Italy, Brando Badoa. A great run for BHM AIX. The youngster from Italy has definitely deserved his silverware this season. But your race winner and new champion for Finland, Tuukka Tarpanen. 5 wins, 10 podiums, never outside the points, the perfect rookie campaign and the perfect champion. It's my honor to invite the head of sales and marketing for GT Tyre Middle East, Manish Rathore, to come forward to present the trophies to our competitors on the podium. Starting with the man in 3rd position for France and Saint-Aloc Racing, Théophile Niel. And secondly, for Italy and PHM AIX Racing, Brando Badua. And our race winner for Finland and RHGP, Tukka Tappanen. And once more, he gets to take 2 trophies at the same time, as he is also our rookie winner, ladies and gentlemen. A fabulous end to the season. And you're going to have to get used to hearing Tukka Tappanen's name on a podium. The Ferrari Junior is just getting started. This will be the first of many great accolades on a race podium as the drivers get together on the top step of the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please. Théophile Niel, Brando Badua, and your race winner, Tukka Tappanen. It's time for the last time in Formula Regional Middle East for our drivers here at the Dubai Autodrome to get busy with a visit. A great end to the season here in the United Arab Emirates. We hope you've enjoyed every single lap of it. We certainly have. Tukka Tappanen certainly has as well. The perfect end to the perfect season, ladies and gentlemen. So that is it from Formula Regional Middle East, having had an amazing run, 30 races across F4 UAE and Formula Regional Middle East. We cannot wait for the next season in 2025. A massive thank you to everybody from Top Speed Promotion, from Yas Marina and Dubai Autodrome. A massive thanks to the marshals who have been absolutely amazing over the course of these 6 weeks. Without them, we couldn't have done anything at all. We are so grateful to every single member of every single part of the jigsaw puzzle that has made this amazing season. We cannot wait to come back to the UAE in 2025. From Jake Sanson and on behalf of everybody here at Top Speed and in the UAE, we can't wait for next season. See you in 11 months.